Hey miners, Mining King here. Today we're going to be talking about Magic China boxes, so let's get right into it. Before we get into today's video, I just want to say that we're going to be doing another Tuber Trivia live this Friday at 9 p.m. Central Time, which would be 10 p.m. Eastern Time, and then it's going to be 7 p.m. West Coast Time. Now, I know last time the questions were really hard, so we're going to make this multiple choice, kind of like a Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and we'll have some things in there to help you guys out. And it's going to be a first come, first serve on the callers. You do have to be live. You don't have to show your face. But this will be for a KSO Pro. So thank you to Mr. Red Panda Mining and BP for this opportunity to give away this Ice River. So all of the trivia questions will be on Iowa Crypto Mining's content that he's made in the last 3 months. So be sure to go watch his content, so this way you have a chance to win. So today we're going to be talking about the S19K Pro 110 terahash Magic China box. And we're going to be talking about some moves I made over the last few days, and my strategy and my thoughts about this. Okay, so I've been a long-time Flux holder so during the bear market, we know that Flux hasn't been doing all that great, right? It's been right in that 30-40 cent, barrier for most of the bear market. And now there's been a recent pump, and when I was doing it, it was around 95 cents to $1, and I liquidated all of my Flux holdings. I traded everything over to USDT, and I bought about a dozen S19K Pros. And you guys are going to be like, whoa, man, Mining King, you're freaking nuts. What are you doing? So this is just my thought. And there was really, there's not a really other good way that I could have came up with the funds to be able to do this. There is several other ways I could have done it, but this to me was the best move. And we'll get into that. Now look, I love Flux as a project. Me selling the coin doesn't reflect like, hey, I don't like Flux, right? I like Dan. I love Davey over there, Alex, Tech Doofus, Moat, all these guys. I know all of them. I talk to them all the time. And that me selling the coin has nothing to do with how I feel about Flux. What it is it comes down to just, it comes down to the investment portfolio, right? And this is nothing against the project itself, right? But honestly, Flux hasn't been that great of a performer in the bear market. And I did tell myself if it got to around $1 that I would consider moving out of it, right? Because I had been at the 30-cent mark for so long. And so, but like I said, this doesn't reflect how I feel about Flux. This doesn't say that I don't believe in Flux. It's not what that says. This just comes down to dollars, right? In money, in investment. And to me, this is going to be my strategy. So I bought a dozen S19K Pros, 110 terahashes, and my plan is to mine on them, and I will put brains on them. The strategy is going to be obviously mining Bitcoin. Now, I do plan on holding some of the Bitcoin. I'm going to break it up into percentages, and I haven't quite decided those percentages, which maybe I'll do in a later video, but I need to just do the math first and see how well they do. But this is kind of my thought process on this, right? If Flux goes back to what it was all time, right? And I sold around $1. The all-time high is about $3, right? So you're looking at about a 3x on your money if you held long-term, if it pumps up to the all-time high, which is totally possible. But nobody has a crystal ball, and nobody knows like exactly what's going to be going on with these things, right? So, and you have to time the market and all that stuff, and there's a lot of things that come into play. So the way that I look at it is, if you buy the S19Ks, which Terra Hashes has these for about $1,600 US, and that's straight to your door. if you bought these machines for, we'll say $1,600 today, and let's say you bought 12 of them, when and if Bitcoin hits, 150K, a lot of people think it'll be by the end of the year. If Bitcoin hits that, those machines will easily cost at least a 5x, somewhere around between, my guess is between 4 and 6x on the machine of what the value of the machine will be. So if you think about that, that means that instead of a 3x, I'll have a 4 to 6x on my money on top of all of the Bitcoin I've mined profitably, right? Now, I don't have enough money to float all of the Bitcoin to be able to pay the power bill up front and just eat it. So I will be selling the Bitcoin to pay the power and then keeping the profits. And my plan is to put, I'm thinking I want to do about, this is kind of my idea. And like I said, I need to like really think about this, like for, down the road, is I want to do 25% of the Bitcoin mine to go into other coins that I want to get into, right? Whether it be other proof of use, other proof of work coins like Caspa or Clore or whatever. I'll just trade the Bitcoin and get into that coin, right? Because I'm mining more profitably. Now, on the other side of that, I want to keep about 75% of the Bitcoin, and then I would like to hold 25% of that Bitcoin long term, which means I don't plan on selling it in the bull run. My plan would be is I would sell half of my Bitcoin mined in the bull run. Now, my goal is to try to accumulate one Bitcoin. And I may be purchasing some more machines. I haven't quite decided yet. We'll have to see what comes up and what my strategy is, because it might change. But I think that everybody, if they can, I think should hold one Bitcoin, because it's like holding like a bar of gold, right? And which will be very valuable. So this is just something I'm, considering and stuff like that. And everybody's kind of getting into like, they want to like get into numbers. And I'll show you some numbers here on the screen, right? All right. So let's get into some numbers here. And I'll be looking at the screen here a little bit to the side. But as you can see, at 9.5 cents, which is the current rate of Terra, if you have over 10 units, I'm just using the Terra rate. Obviously, you can host wherever you like, but I'm just going to use my company's, because we do have a little bit of a premium on our service. So if you go over here, this is the current price of Bitcoin right now. This is how much hash rate I have, which is going to be about 1.6 petahash. And this is the watts I'm going to be consuming, because I'm going to be using Brains or low power mode. I do have two S19J Pro 104s, but I have Brains on them. And I do plan on putting Brains on the S19K Pros as well, because you can get the efficiency down to about 20 and a half-ish, 21-ish, joules or watts per terahash. So you can increase that efficiency by around 10%, maybe like 12.5%, depending upon obviously the silicon lottery on the machine. But as you can see here, under the current profitability, and I didn't put the price of everything because I haven't added all that in there yet. But let's just say if I did buy 12, so 10 units would be 16,000. So that would be another 2. That would be, so we'll just say 19.2, because I've already owned the other ones for quite some time. So we'll just throw that in there, right? You're looking at about 273 days on the payback. But we obviously have the halvening coming up and stuff like that, which means that our rewards are going to get reduced and cut in half. So this is at the current price of Bitcoin, if Bitcoin doesn't go up at all. So if you come here, you can see that we're roughly at about a 48, 52% split, which isn't bad actually for for mining. So now You can see here that daily before the halving, I'll be making about $71 ish a day, right? Obviously, prices going up and down, more machines come online. That number's going to fluctuate by a couple of bucks. But weekly, you're looking at about 500, and then monthly, you're looking at about 2 grand. So in 1 month, I will have returned already, paid off, the whole farm will pay off 1 unit collectively, right? That's already 1 unit. It's already paid off in the first month. And it's actually over that. It's going to be like 1.25, right? Now, obviously, with the halving, right, this is all going to get cut in half. So I would go down to about 35-ish dollars, a day, 30-ish dollars, as well as it would drop down from 2,100 a month down to about $1,000 a month, right? But still profitable, right? Still profitable at this price. And if we're using low power mode or brains to really bring our efficiency down. Now, there isn't a low power mode on the S19K Pros, but like I said, I do have two 104s, so they're in LPM right now. Now, let's just say Bitcoin hits 150K by the end of the year. We're going to talk theoretical numbers here. Okay. And this is just a guesstimate, right? Because obviously difficulty changes as more machines come online. But this is how the numbers change at 150K. Now, you have to cut all the profitability in half because this will be post halving, and this calculator you can't really reflect that in this calculator. So look at the daily return as $150 a day, and instead of $9,400 a month, you would be making about $4,500 a month. So if I'm making $4,500 a month and I paid $1,600 for each unit, that means every month I'm paying off 3 units. So I would only really need to be able to pay off my 12 units. I would only need 3 months to pay them off. So once they're paid off, right, I'm making this much money every month if Bitcoin hits this price. Now, that will, like I said, probably get lowered by 10%. After the half, you want to take 10% off the half because obviously more machines are going to come on and the difficulty and everything like that is going to increase. But the thing is, though, is you would still be mining profitably. And when the price of Bitcoin goes up, the value of your machine goes up, right? So that $1,600 machine that you bought, you could now probably sell for an easy, like I said, between $4,000 and $6,000. So that means that not only have you mined all of this Bitcoin and paid your machines off, and now you're making profit from the Bitcoin, as well as now the machine itself is worth quadruple what you paid for it. So you're going to make a 3x on your money on the machine, and then you're going to make money on top of the Bitcoin. So to me, this is like an easy, 6 to 8x on your money. So, kind of shout out to DJ here because he always says scared money doesn't make money, and I am taking a risk by doing this, but I think it's a pretty calculated risk because as far as Bitcoin goes, it is the most stable risk that you can get into, right? As far as all of the other cryptocurrencies that we deal with, right? Whether you're talking Caspa or Litecoin or Lithium or any of these other coins, right? Whether, any kind of miners you're talking about, I think the Bitcoin ASIC play is a very strategic play, right? You buy the machines when they're low, you mine on them for quite a long time, you make like a 3-4x on the Bitcoin you mine, you make like another 3 or 4x on the machine itself. So in the bull run, I do plan on liquidating, all of my Bitcoin, and I'm going to do it as a DCA. My plan is to not sell all the machines at once because I don't want to sell them and try to get it all at the top. I want to be able to say that like I'm going to start selling near the top and selling at the top and selling on my way down. That way I kind of like DCA out of it. And this way I kind of reduce my risk while also keeping as much profits as I possibly can. So as the bull market is trending down, I will probably end up with no ASICs, but I plan on taking that investment again. And in the bear market again, I'm going to take those proceeds I did get from the ASICs themselves, and I'm going to take it to buy 3 or 4 times as much hardware, and then repeat the process again until you get a bigger farm, right? So instead of having, we'll say, 14 ASICs, I'll have 60 ASICs, and then I'll repeat the process again, and then you just kind of keep doing the cycle, right? I'm going to see how this plays out. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe this is foolish of me. So to me, I believe that this is the safest play as far as getting into crypto mining hardware, and for the, buying into other hardware. And maybe I'm crazy and maybe I'm foolish. Some people think that maybe I should have held my flux, right? Maybe flux is going to $20. Nobody knows these answers to these questions, but I do know, because I can follow a previous chart, because flux only had one pump, and that was in the last bull run, whereas every bull run that happens, the machine prices go up, right? It's something that you could see in a trend in a chart. Every time machine prices are down low in the bear market, and then in the bull market they cost 5 to 10 times as much, right? It happens every single time. I don't want to say it's guaranteed, right? But if you're looking at a chart, you could see that it's a repetitive behavior that always happens so far. That's just my thing, guys. I'm getting into Bitcoin ASICs now. And then everyone's gonna be like, "Oh man, mining kings getting out of GPU mining." No, I do plan on keeping like one rig. It's gonna be my 6600 rig that is loan to Panda right now. But when I get that back, I'll be spec mining with that. And then I do plan on to start buying all the new cards and doing more testing, which I don't do a lot. I don't buy a lot of the newer cards, so I am going to start doing that, where I buy like the 5070 Ti Super comes out. I'm going to buy it, I'll test it, and then I'll probably sell the card after like 30 days. And this way I'll be able to, make content on it and things like that. So don't worry, the Mining King isn't getting all the way out of GPU mining. So I will still have some GPUs laying around. This is just a strategic move I'm making to position myself in the bull run. And I think it's a good time still to acquire hardware. So let me know what you guys think. Was that a dumb move of me to sell all my flux and buy these Magic China boxes? Or do you guys think that this is a good move? Do you guys think this is going to do great? You know what I mean? I have no idea. It's just, I did a lot of, reading, and I did a lot of research and doing, math and things like that. And I really think that this is the best way to do it. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. If this was a good move. All right, this is the Mining King giving you the most hashes, and I'll see you next time.